Hey everyone, it's Kothis, and I am back from a much needed vacation just in time for Season of the Seraph. It's really good to be back, and I have a lot of video ideas with all the new content. I'm really excited about it. But with that out of the way, let's get right into the video. We don't do long intros here, so let's talk about Season of the Seraph right now. I don't want to dive too much into story spoiler territory, so we're just going to skip that for now, but just know that things are for sure heating up as we get ready for Lightfall in 87 days. We'll start off with the live service story content. As far as that goes, we're pretty much looking at the exact same structure that we've seen for quite some time now. I didn't really expect anything different. Basically just do the seasonal activity, upgrade the helm vendor by doing weekly challenges, listen to the radio message, and so on. It's all the same. So if you've been through a Destiny season before, you'll know exactly what to expect as far as the structure of it goes. So what is the seasonal content for us to do this season? Well, we've got the 3-player match-made Heist Battlegrounds as our main activity, and the non-match-made Warmind Launch Facility as our once-per-week story progression activity. So this is actually unlike Season of Plunder and Haunted in that they actually had 2 match-made seasonal activities to do plus the non-match-made. So think Catch Crash and Expedition plus the weekly pirate hideouts. It was just a lot. So starting with the Heist Battlegrounds, the first thing to cover here is that there is a new modifier called Playlist Rules, where every enemy is always 5 levels above you. You can think of this as a very tiny version of the Grandmaster modifier, which puts everything 25 levels above you. So if you're dying a lot easier than you think you should be dying, that's why. As far as the battlegrounds go, you'll first be evading the death beam towers by hiding behind cover as you make your way towards the bunker entrance. Just make sure your timer doesn't reach 0, otherwise you die instantly. Just stay behind cover as needed and you'll be totally fine. Next, you'll progress through a Warmind bunker area and do the usual ball carrying stuff, killing enemies, and eventually progress to a final room with a boss at the end. I was actually shocked by the sheer amount of enemy density in the final room. It's crazy. Maybe it's just the first time I've run this, but my fire team and I were totally caught off guard by this, and enemies just never stop spawning in. I actually love this. It's probably the most enemy dense area in the whole game that I can think of. As of right now, the overall structure of this is more appealing to me than Catch Crash. I just didn't really like Catch Crash, but we'll have to wait until I have 100 clears to see if I still like it or not. The Warmind launch activity is very similar, pretty much the same exact thing actually. It just has more story elements attached to it. It's just not that much different. And remember, you just do one of these Warmind missions per week. So the main grind this season seems like it will thankfully just be play any activity you want to earn Seraph key codes. Then you take those codes to open the extra chest at the end of the Heist Battlegrounds for 500 key codes. This is very similar to Season of the Risen if you're familiar with that. I actually like just one activity to run. It was annoying last season to take materials I earned from one activity, then go to the other one and open up another chest. Like, it was just too confusing. And also, while you are earning Seraph key codes by, again, playing any activity, you will also be getting resonance stems. You can combine 4 of these to make a resonance amp. This is pretty much exactly like the Warmind expansion way back in the day. You would combine 4 of those, and it takes you to a location of a Warmind node that you can then interact with to get a free Ikalos weapon. I've only interacted with one of these Warmind nodes, but if you can get deep sight variants with these, the crafting grind should be even easier and less grindy than last season. Alright, continuing with the new stuff to do list, we have a new dungeon coming out Friday, which looks to take place in some sort of Warmind facility. No further details on that now, but you can expect a full guide on that once I get a few clears. Deepstone Crypt also got its weapons reprised with new traits and the ability to craft them. I don't have a clear on this yet, but I will get one soon. I don't think there are any major changes to the raid other than just the weapons and maybe a hidden puzzle to get us an additional red border chest at the end of the raid. Not sure on that. At the end of the day, at least there's a reason to run Deepstone Crypt again. Moving on, we'll talk about Crucible, which got a pretty big update and overhaul. Team Quick Play is a new playlist that features both Control and Clash, so this is going to be the main casual playlist. Rumble unfortunately got removed and put in the weekly rotator list. I don't play Rumble too often, but I know that there are some dedicated Rumble people out there. Really sucks. The big change this season is obviously the competitive playlist. We now have a new ranking system where you'll need to play 7 matches in order to get placed in a division. It starts as low as Copper and goes all the way to Ascendant currently. And as of right now, there are no cosmetics tied to these ranks, but my goodness, they better add this soon. That's like the main reason to grind stuff like this. You want to look cool, you want to stand out and show off how good you are. I don't know. Hopefully they add something like that in the future. Rose is a reprised hand cannon that is now available again, obviously with new traits to go for, and you can get one by completing the quest Dividing the Ladder from Shaxx. And after this, once you clear that quest, there will be a weekly challenge to earn another one for that week, so you can continue to grind for more rolls. Lastly, Lord Shaxx also got the Vendor 3.0 treatment in that you can now focus weapons at Shaxx by getting Crucible engrams from leveling up your reputation. Just keep in mind that you'll only be able to focus Crucible weapons from previous seasons, not the new Crucible weapon from this season, which we'll go over here in a second, and that's the same thing for Gambit. Before diving into some of the main new weapons we can grind for this season, let's talk about the artifact, the Seraph Cipher. This is no different from any other season's artifact, so nothing new in terms of its function. Just a quick recap: gain XP to level it up to unlock more mods, and also increase your power level. You can always check where you're at for each of these stats in the bottom right corner. So the Seraph Cipher gives us some good weapon choices for champions. We've got Unstoppable Hand Cannon and Unstoppable Grenade Launcher for 7 mod energy. Not sure how many people are going to want to use that. As for Overload, we've got Scout Rifles and the SMG Auto Rifle Combo mod. Finally, we get Anti-Barrier Bow and Pulse Rifle. We also have a new mod type here, the +5 Mobility and Resilience Armor type specific mods. So this is not the same as like your +5 universal mod. These are tied to a specific piece of armor like your chest and legs. I don't see myself ever using these, but they could help out, I guess, if I'm 5 away from the next stat tier or something like that. I usually just don't struggle with that. As for other mods I'm looking out for, Countercharge could be interesting for charge with light builds in high-end content. Low Entropy Superconductor could see some use for thunderclapping titans like myself against unstoppable champions. Lucent Finisher obviously is a solid mod for GMs especially. I'm glad they brought this back. Basically allows for really easy heavy ammo replenishment. Solo Operative, also a new mod. It could see some play in speedrunning lost sectors, soloing dungeons, or even soloing GMs if you're crazy enough to do that. I think I'm most excited for Monochromatic Maestro though. I really like to play into a subclass and go all in on a damage type, so this is really going to reward, like if you're using an arc subclass with arc weapons, you're going to see damage benefits to both your abilities and your weapons. It's going to be cool. Alright, so those are the major new / updated activities this season. What about weapons? Well, we've got some really cool stuff this season. Most sites aren't quite updated yet, so I don't have all the new traits for every weapon in front of me right now. And just out of curiosity, would a trait recommendation video be something that you guys would like to see? Let me know down in the comments. Anyway, the aesthetic of the new seasonal weapons is great. They have this like stealth art style, which is just really cool looking. And each of these new seasonal weapons will come with the origin trait Ambush, which improves range, handling, and damage during the opening moments of any engagement. Seems pretty awesome, but I haven't done enough testing to see how much it works, how it actually works, so I will make sure to get on that. I did see though that the Trace Rifle, the Path of Least Resistance, can roll with Volt Shot, which I will obviously be crafting. The Ikalos weapons are back in their version 1.0.3 format, which is the 3rd time they've been released. I don't even care though, these weapons are great. They all come with the new origin trait Rasputin's Arsenal, which will partially reload your magazine when breaking shields. It seems pretty cool. Either way, these weapons have always been top tier in terms of visual appeal, so I'm really happy that they are back. And I just realized too, the Ikalos SMG can actually be crafted with Volt Shot, so yeah, I'm going to be using that quite a bit this season. Deepstone Crypt weapons, as mentioned, are all reprised and come with the new origin trait Bray Inheritance, which will replenish ability energy by just doing damage. This actually sounds pretty crazy. Again, unfortunately, I don't have a clear yet, so I don't have any of the new weapons, but I will let you know when I get some of these to see how this actually works. And lastly, the new dungeon will also obviously have its own weapons and armor set, but we won't know anything about that until Friday. And as an FYI, every weapon mentioned in this section up to this point has been craftable. These next weapons will not be craftable, so just keep that in mind. The Manticore is a new Battle Pass exotic, and it is one of the most unique weapons I've ever used. Getting kills with it will charge anti-grav repulsors, which allow you to float in the air with a surprising amount of maneuverability. Getting more kills will allow you to keep floating. I was able to chain like a 20-second floating session, which was pretty awesome. I enjoyed this a lot more than I thought I would. I like the outside of the box thinking with exotics. This is really cool. Next up, let's go over the new playlist weapons. Vanguard gets the Prolonged Engagement, a Stasis lightweight SMG. Crucible gets the Blowout, an Arc adaptive rocket launcher. Gambit gets the Albruna D, an aggressive arc sniper. And remember, with these 3 playlists, their specific weapons are all eligible to drop with multiple traits in each column as you get more reputation resets. Moving on to the other playlist weapons, we've got Iron Banner, which can now drop the Gnora's Axe, an Arc Pinpoint Slug Shotgun, and the Dark Decider, an Arc Rapid-Fire Auto Rifle. Trials of Osiris now drops the Unwavering Duty, a Solar Adaptive Machine Gun, and the Exalted Truth, a Void Adaptive Hand Cannon, with obviously adept weapons for both of these for going flawless. Nightfalls now get the Wendigo Arc Adaptive Grenade Launcher, and my personal favorite, the Hung Jury Kinetic Precision Scout Rifle. It is back. And obviously both of these will also have adept versions for completing Grandmaster Nightfalls during the correct week. We'll finish up the weapons section with the ritual weapon this season, the Veles-X. It's an aggressive burst void pulse rifle. And if you're not sure what a ritual weapon is, it's basically a seasonal weapon that's only obtainable during that season, and it can be earned by gaining enough reputation with either Zavala, Shax, or the Drifter. So you get Hake Breach Armaments, Vanguard's Vindication, One Quiet Moment, and Gun and Run. And the traits on the weapon actually make it a nice jack of all trades, being decent in both PvP and PvE. In the first column, you get Repulsor Brace or Tunnel Vision, and Kill Clip or Golden Tricorn in the second column. In PvE, definitely run this with a Void subclass so you can take advantage of Repulsor Brace, and I'd use Tricorn with it. For PvP, use Tunnel Vision and either one of the traits in column 2, just pick whichever one you feel like you can take advantage of. Ritual weapons aren't designed to be the most insane, game-breaking guns in the game, but they are usually really solid workhorse weapons for you. So, tons of new weapons and god rolls to chase this season, and even more are on the way with the new dungeon coming out in a few days, and with the Dawning also coming very soon. So, what are my thoughts? Well, Warmind stuff is always great, and the weapons and theming around pretty much all the weapons this season are a win. I like it. I haven't had enough testing yet to see if they're actually really good, but so far they seem like they could be pretty good. The Battle Pass also has some really good cosmetics. As always, we get the Basilisk set this time, and it looks really cool. Things seem less grindy so far, and that they will be less grindy, but only time will tell on that one for sure. The last 2 seasons have pretty much felt like climbing a mountain to complete and really get everything you want. And thankfully, this season is a short one, being slightly less than 3 months, so Lightfall is getting closer and closer. Overall, initial impressions have me hopeful. I'm excited to get more into Crucible this season and just get better at it by climbing the ladders. Dungeons are some of my favorite content in the game. Obviously, this one's going to be great. I don't see any chance that this is not going to be fun. And Deepstone Crypt is just such a fun raid too. Having a reason to actually go back and run it for new stuff is really cool. I don't know what it is, there's just something that feels good about old, outdated content being brought up to current standards, even if it's just something as simple as refreshed weapons. Well, those are my thoughts. What do you guys think? Are you liking Season of the Seraph so far? Let me know down in the comments, or, of course, join on the Discord if you still have more questions on stuff or just want to chat with me directly. Alright everyone, I will see you in the next video.